good, YouTube? It's your girl Jade.
It's your boy Yohanse.
And welcome to our channel,
Get Into the Black,
where we share with you our personal journey to freedom.
We're going to be covering topics like finance, travel, and some really cool lifestyle hacks.
So if you're interested in any of those topics, please be sure to smash that subscribe button
and click the notification bell so you're notified the next time we upload a video. Here's a message from our sponsor.
Over 85% of consumers search online before even setting foot in a store. This means that consumers are going online to businesses' websites, directories, and search engines before they even come close to entering the physical store. So isn't it just as important for a local business to have a great online presence? One that allows customers to find them with ease? With our software, we help you create a strong foundation for your digital reputation. We help build your online presence to improve search engine rank and make sure your business information is correct across the web. This ensures customers will always be able to find you online and on the street. You could do all of this on your own, but why would you spend more than 300 hours a year working on this? You have a business to run. Save time and put our software to work for you.
Our first comment is from Chief Buck by Nature.
Look, if you buck, right? Look, okay.
And he wants to know, you know any cheap apartments?
Yes, I do. All right. First thing you want to do is identify the neighborhood or the area that you want to be in that's best fit for your lifestyle that you're looking for. So if you already have a car, you can go a little further out in other kind of more remote areas where you may have to drive to, aka suburbs, right? But the areas that you want to go to look for are like in Bayamon is a municipality that's not too far from San Juan. You can find apartments for one bedrooms for $500-600 there. But you need to kind of have a car because things are more remote and it's very much more suburb like. So you have these communities where to get to the local grocery store, it's a 5-minute drive to get there. But there's also locations that are in like San Juan and the Condado and the Isla Verde. Isla Verde is much cheaper than Condado, and it's much cheaper than Old San Juan area. So if you're looking in those three main areas, which is right off the beach, Isla Verde is going to be much cheaper, and you can find little pockets in between there. And then the next thing I would say, if you're looking on just a little inland off of like I would say Fernando Juncos, which is a main very big street here. In those areas, it's a lot cheaper. Like literally, it drops in half still, but the areas are not as nice. You're gonna see a lot more rundown buildings and houses and stuff like that. You know, wild dogs and roosters and chickens and things of that nature. So you're still very close, somewhat walking distance from the beach. When you're looking for apartments, the further you go out, the bigger the space you're going to get. We're not too far from the beach. We're literally like a block away from the beach. So it's like literally a 5-minute walk for us. So most of the apartments have little, like it's not a mini fridge. It's not a super small fridge. It's like right in the middle where you have enough for the week. We only can shop for a week here. So we sacrifice space. You can see this is living room and kitchen all in one. And there's some spaces that don't even have a little living room, right? So yeah, that's what I would suggest. I would look in those types of areas. But if you're looking specifically and like really get some help before you move, I would suggest that you do a Airbnb for a month. 30 days is enough time to find something what you need. But you want to be on the ground so you can go and fill out the neighborhoods because like what Jade is saying, that online is unreliable, and the realtors, because they're actual real estate agents who do the renting for these places, they are not the most efficient when it comes to finding a place. And depending on what language you're speaking and what kind of situation you're in, I mean, it just really depends on the place. So you need to be here or on the ground to find a place.
Yeah, and that's what's very different from that on the mainland, because you can just look on the internet where there are sites you can use here, like we use Facebook Market and Classificados to help us with our apartment hunting. But one thing I noticed that's major different is like here you can't just like walk into an office. Yeah. Like usually there's always like a rental office on the premises of an apartment building back home. Here they don't have that. Like, and it's funny because security, if there is security, they'll act like they don't even know who do you contact, which is kind of funny. Yeah,
it is, because it's very word of mouth. So we use Classificados, which is like the Craigslist here. The best deals you're going to find, because so one thing I would give you if you decide to move here is do not go into Facebook and say, I can afford this. No, because you gonna afford that. Yeah, they gonna make sure you afford that. So I'm like, oh, that's what you can afford. I was only gonna charge $500, but for you it's $1,000, and not because of anything else, because you just gave up the, you know what I mean. So just say, hey, I'm looking for this in these areas with these amenities. Do anybody have anything? And find out. That is the best thing I would highly suggest you do.
Yes. So for the next question is from Roots and Truths. And Roots and Truths wants to know, first they want to say, great video.
Oh, thank you.
But when moving, did you guys ship your stuff there or start it over from scratch?
Wow. I'll let you take this one, then I'll hop in.
I think I like this question because
it's a good one. Because
we did take some things with us, but it was only 2 suitcases each.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we basically started over from scratch. For us, moving here was a new beginning. That's kind of what that signified for us. So yeah, we took that opportunity. I was like, I want a new wardrobe. So I was okay with. I'm somebody who had a lot of clothes, a lot of shoes, just a lot of stuff.
Accumulated over 30 years almost of stuff.
Oh yeah,
30 years of stuff.
I had a room in our condo. It was called my beauty room, and literally was filled with shoes, clothes, makeup, and wigs.
Yeah. Yeah.
But moving here, I was like, you know what? One, I want to change my aesthetic. I want to change everything. So I took it as an opportunity to pretty much purge everything and just start over.
Absolutely. So for me, it was slightly different. I ain't have anything really. I was like living out my room before the pandemic hit. I was, I was living with family. Well, not family, but I had a family. I was living in a family house, so a lot of the stuff that I had there was just kind of fit in one room. And during the pandemic, what ended up happening was I had to consolidate that already, and we moved in together because we didn't know what was going to happen. So I had already consolidated some more stuff, right? And then so when we purge, I didn't consolidate, I purged some stuff. And I'm not a very overindulgent person, either one of us. Well, with those clothes and wigs and stuff, probably, you know what I mean? But it wasn't like it was just really into it. It's just over a period of time. Like we have quality pieces, you pick stuff like that. But pretty much that's why I pushed to move to Puerto Rico, because this was a time where I don't have a personal home that I'm living in like that. At the time, I didn't have a car. It was a lot of things that I did not have that I was like, this is an easy move to do. So we started from over. We just brought the basic needs the stuff we had, and just started from here. And I sold a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, we was like 2021 summer in Puerto Rico was vacation. I'm not gonna lie, we was enjoying our lives. Yeah, because we didn't have nothing to hold us down.
Yeah, and how I got rid of some of my stuff, because I did have some items that are kind of hard to get rid of, like a car, and then
dresser.
Yeah, the place I was staying in, furniture that was in there, and all that good stuff. And just to kind of tell my story, pretty much I left all my stuff to my little sister.
Dumped it on her little sister.
Yeah, the condo I was staying in was owned by my mom. So when I told her we were moving, she kind of understood. And my little sister was staying there at the time. So I was just like, you know what? your responsibility. I'll keep the bills in my name. But you got to learn how to pay these bills, and you got to learn how to do this stuff anyway. You're about to turn 21 at the time, so you need to become more responsible. So she took over all that stuff. I figured out a situation with my mom, because my sister, like I said, she's a college student, but she's also young, so she couldn't afford to take over my car payments, but my mom did take over those car payments. So that's something that they took care of. So I still have a vehicle for if I go to the mainland or where, but my sister does use that as her main transportation to get her to and from school. And it's just interesting because it actually, I would say, as my family unit, it worked very well for us, this transition, because I was able to just hand down a lot of the important items that you need as like an adult to my little sisters. So the next question comes from Nelly Nails, and they want to know, they actually have a few questions that they asked. So the person said, I have many questions. Hopefully you can answer a few. Why did y'all move to Puerto Rico? What prompted you to move? Where do y'all work? How much do you have to make to survive? Can we survive on a minimalist budget of $30,000 a year or less? Do you see yourself staying there long term?
Okay, first question is, why did we move to Puerto Rico? Well, we moved to Puerto Rico because we wanted sovereignty over our money and our lives. We explained this in other videos, but the point is that Puerto Rico gave us the opportunity to be able to live a life and of freedom. And so there's opportunities that the government and stuff are offering that puts someone like ourselves, who are African American woman, that we would never get in America, right? So this was a place in America, technically, that we could get it that was very different and that had a culture that we wanted to learn more about.
Yeah, and I guess when you say what prompted the move, is just having the ability then to take that sovereignty. Like, it was something that we already knew we wanted to do. We wanted to be in control of our time and our finances. So when the opportunity presented itself, then we took advantage of it. Absolutely. Yes. And then the next part of the question was, where do you all work?
Yeah, so we work for our last name. So our last name pays us. And that's the most important thing. We're entrepreneurs, and that's why we moved here, because we wanted to, well, I would say me, I have been watching all these YouTube videos of all these people living this, what they call the digital nomad life, right? Where you can work anywhere because your job is digital. And I really was inspired by that lifestyle, and Puerto Rico was a place that I felt that I could start that foundation, because everything we did beforehand was really hands-on. We had to physically be there, but that's how the world was. I'm so kind of dang, I wish I would have got on this earlier, but due timing.
Yeah, and as the pandemic helped us, it gave us, it allowed me, I would say, really to see, one, the insecurity you have with an employer. So that was one of the motivations and things that prompted me. But then two, just seeing that, like, hey, you can work from home and you can make a good living and things like that. And going into the next part of your question is, like, how much do you need to survive, and can you live on a minimalist lifestyle? Clearly I'm not a minimalist. I think in Puerto Rico you most definitely can. You can't live off of $30,000 a year in Condado where we live at, but you definitely can find places around the island that would be able to suffice. You have a great quality of life, nice space, and basic cost of living will be way cheaper, and you'll be able to survive within that $30,000 a year budget. Yeah,
I mean, it depends. It's $30,000 before or after taxes, you know what I mean? Because $30,000, I think that's that. It'll be difficult to live in any major city anywhere in the world on that type of income. But one thing that you can do as a resource for you is, I'll put it in the description, that there is a website you can go to, and you can put in what you're currently making right now and how it translates to here in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, and then for the last part of the question was just, do we plan on staying here long term?
So I have a contract with the local government, so 15 years is minimum that we plan on staying here. But the reality is that we want to travel. That's why this channel is finance, travel, and lifestyle. And we are looking to travel to other countries, and if we find a place that's more befitting for us and our future family, Puerto Rico would be a home. I would like for it to be a home base. If I'm still American citizen, who knows? I might go to Africa. I don't know. Let's see, and find a country that that I want to stay there. Who knows what the future holds? But we definitely will be here long term.
Yes. So I just want to say thank you guys for all your questions. Again, this is something that we're going to be doing more often because we notice that we get so many questions. But then also too, people hit us up in our on our Instagram and things like that. So we want to make sure that we're staying connected to you all, and we remain as a resource and a hub to answer any of you guys' questions just about life in Puerto Rico. So if you have any of them, just make sure that you're leaving them in the comment section, and we'll be sure to answer them in our future videos.
Absolutely. And if you want any personal help and support on moving to Puerto Rico or trying to figure out the finances, the crypto space and stuff like that, our new website will have a space where you can get one-on-one consulting with us that's unique to your specific situation and is not generic. Thank you everyone for sticking around and enjoying this AMA with us.
Bye.
Bye.
And one thing about like apartment hunting that was a little bit different here than compared to the mainland. On the mainland,
we got power. Oh, Lord. Thank you. Look, let me tell you.
Yeah, we've been out of power for like, what, 2 hours now?
Yeah, 2.5, maybe 3 hours. Yeah.
Which I would say that's not typical in our area where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, if the power goes out, it's on. And within like 10 minutes, this has probably been the longer.
Been an hour, yeah, I would say.
Yeah, this has been the longest power outage, like, of us being here. But didn't it go out last night too?
Yeah, it went out last night for about 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah, I guess
5 minutes at the max.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on right now, but anyways,
get a generator, a little solar generator. I would highly suggest.
Oh yeah, just to keep your electronics going and stuff like that.
The refrigerator, especially if you got a little refrigerator like that.